Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Blackspinner Circle Music Vidcast. My co-host Al Horta is not with us today. He went to go visit his family in Portugal, so he is out of the country. So, speaking of country, we are going to be celebrating the 4th of July on Friday. So here at Blackspinner, we thought we would have a little bit of fun. Every once in a while, Al and I will come up with these oddball subjects. Well, this is definitely one of them. What we're going to be doing tonight, each panelist got 10 different states. With us collected, that's all 50 states, and we're all going to mention a band or an artist that's going to represent each state. This was a lot of fun because we'll be able to talk about different bands, different artists. There might be a few surprises of who comes from where. So joining us today, we have the great Joseph Staub from the newly podcast that is fixate, which is a Styx podcast called Heavy Water 77. How's it going, Joe?
Doing well. Thanks for having me. When you first asked me about this, I thought this was a really great idea, just because it kind of worked out that all five of us are from different parts of the country. We got to cover a lot of our own areas. We all kind of grew up. There's some bands that I'm going to be mentioning on my list that, even though they're kind of popular bands, they mean a lot to me just because they are from around my area. I know people that know these people personally, stuff like that. So I'm really excited to be doing this, and thanks for having me as always.
And the way that I divided all the states, we got Northeast America, we got the Midwest, we got Southeast, we've got the South, and we've got the Pacific. And I had arranged it this way so that everyone has their own home state or states that they've been associated with their families or in their lives. So that's why I divided them this way. Also with us, we got Jimmy Schwartz here with us, who is a regular on our show. How's it going, Jimmy?
It's going great. Thanks for having me. I want to wish everybody a happy belated Bobby Bonilla Day. So that's
I posted that.
we just celebrated yesterday. It's a big day of the year. But everything's going great. Yeah, this is a really fun topic. So I'm excited to see what everybody's got.
Yeah, I think so too. Bobby Bonilla, dude, I really love Bobby Bonilla when he was with the Pirates, and then he started to move around. You start to lose track of players when you get when you're young like that, because when I was young watching baseball and football, I'd be all like, wait a minute, this isn't his team. What's he doing over here now?
It's like he never did anything for the Mets, but he made all that money.
Yeah.
Didn't he win a couple World Series with the Marlins?
No, I think he won one.
It was just one.
Just one? Okay.
Yeah, but he became a star pretty much in Pittsburgh. That's how I remember him.
Yeah.
Most stop by is in Pittsburgh. And also with us today, we got Jerry Superman Soupy. Jerry's wearing all sorts of hats these days. Jerry is on Freeform Rock Podcast. He's also the BS Sessions with Mark and Jerry. He is also the co-host along with Joe for Heavy Water 77, a Styx podcast. He also does a podcast with me called 3 Shots Down, and he's also my co-host for the football one for the Gridiron Smackdown. How's it going?
And you're also my Rocklahoma partner this year.
Yeah, Rocklahoma, man. That's coming about a month and a half away, Jerry. I swear, dude. I think it's gonna be a wild, crazy weekend.
I think so too, man.
I think so too.
I want to first say something to my partner from the Freeform Rock Pass, Mark Alden Taylor.
What's the name? What's the name of our show? He said
Freeform Rock Podcast.
You didn't say it. Okay, go ahead.
You were right. We know what we're talking. I'm not going to mention what we talked about, but I'm going to say publicly that you were right. That's all I'm going to say about it. And thank you for all who've watched the Cheap Trick episode, over 1,000 views. Thank you very much for that. And people watching the Heavy Water 77 shorts and videos, thank you very much. 3 Shots Down, thank you very much. Yada, yada, yada. BS Sessions, all that. You forgot the BS Sessions, Andy.
He said the BS.
No, did he? Okay.
That was the first thing I said.
All right, my bad. There's so many, it was hard to keep track. But anyway, thank you for having me on, man. I'm looking forward to this. I finally found a cool Alabama band, so happy.
I thought that was
Alabama
with Leonard Skinner. Hello.
Yeah. They're not from. They're from Alabama.
They're from Florida.
I
was
know
gonna say,
that.
what the fuck, man? They're not.
I
from
know
Alabama.
that. Oh, because they sang "Sweet Home Alabama."
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Come on.
Oh shit, that's a good song tomorrow. Dang it. I didn't
Work with me, guys.
I'm awfully thick sometimes, you know.
And also, we got Mark Alden Taylor here with us, who will be representing the Pacific Coast. He is from California. He's also the host of BS Sessions with Mark and Jerry. He's also the founder and creator of the Freeform Rock podcast. He's also a DJ on Cranium Radio. Catch him on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Central, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific time. How's it going, Mark?
Yeah, I play everything and throw in the kitchen sink.
He literally does. He literally does.
I literally do.
It makes a lot of noise when he throws that.
I'm just gonna say, Jerry,
you're like, yeah. And the next minute, you're like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, I didn't play any Oingo Boingo last night, so.
But you did play Echo and the Bunnymen, and I don't know how I felt about
What's
that.
wrong with Echo and the Bunnymen? They did a great version of "People Are Strange" from the Lost Boys, man. Come on, I thought that was
Joe, Mark,
that was good, Mark. That was good. Yes,
Mark, who sang the original version of that song?
I know. But I thought you liked that one better. Hey, I just gotta say something to Jimmy. May the Swartz be with you.
And also with you.
Spaceballs 2 is coming.
It's and with your spirit now. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that would be a good podcast for you, man. May the Swartz be with you.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm a big fan of Echo and the Bunnymen, so I did not mind that at all.
I love Do It Clean. Bring On the Dancing Horses, Lips Like Sugar, fucking great band. They get maligned, man. Nobody talks about that band. They're like,
I don't know, those 120-minute bands. I just never could get into.
They were on regular MTV.
Yeah, no,
very rarely.
Depeche Mode, The Cure, all that stuff.
There were bands that was more word of mouth, and there were a lot less keyboards on there. There were more guitar, drum, bass band.
I'm just gonna say I got the West Coast, which is the best. All you freaking people in the East Coast, gosh, I'm tired of getting fucking shit on because we're in the West Coast or the left coast.
Yeah, I got some jewels tonight, man.
All right, so before we
just wait till you hear my first one.
Before we get to our states, what has been spinning, guys? All right, Joe, hit it off.
All right, so I got 3 real quick to mention that I've been listening to lately, picked up recently. First one is probably my favorite Tool album, Lateralis. Great album. For people that don't know, this is an album that has The Grudge. It has Parable and Parabola, Schism, Ticks and Leeches, the song Lateralis. Some really great stuff on this album. This is kind of probably their most popular album, I'd say. I love the packaging here. It has like this like cover that you take off, and it has the
health.
Yeah, and then if you actually pull it out, it doesn't have like an actual booklet. It's clear plastic, and it has like different images and stuff on it. So it's kind of cool. Although there's no liner notes, and I don't like that. So, but overall, Joseph, I do think it's yes.
Is that the one with the odd time signatures on it?
Probably, yeah.
Bad joke. Anyway,
yeah. Tool. I don't know if they know what 4/4 is. I don't know if they've ever heard of that. I think it's a little too adventurous for them. Another one I've been listening to a lot lately is David Bowie on his 1974 Diamond Dogs tour. There's a couple different live albums from this tour because the tour itself went on kind of a couple different phases as he started to move towards his Philly soul era with Young Americans. And another kind of cool, another cool packaging here. This actually opens up, and it's like a jigsaw puzzle. It opens out.
Yeah,
I've never seen a CD like this in my life, where it actually it like the side is here, but then it opens up and out into a kind of the whole cool thing here. Great live album. Has a lot of songs from Diamond Dogs, and of course some of his earlier stuff from Man Who Sold the World, Ziggy Stardust, that kind of stuff as well. Great live album, particularly this remaster. Tony Visconti does a really good job of fixing what a lot of people described as a pretty bad mix on the original vinyl, which I also have. And then my last album that I've been spinning this week is not only Independence Day here in the United States of America, but it was also Canada Day. And what better way to celebrate Canada Day than with one of my absolute favorite Rush albums. One of the greatest albums to end a career in any band ever. Clockwork Angels.
Yeah. Took you forever to
album.
get that.
It did. But now I've listened to it like 50 times since I got it on CD because
I got that day one.
I did too, but I had it digitally on day one.
Oh, I got it. That
I never had a CD till last year, so I finally picked up the CD. Listened to it probably about 50 times since I got it on the CD. Love this album. This is how you end a career right here. There's not a lot of bands that have ever gone out on a higher note than this album. So
we wish some bands would end their career. Motley Crue.
Boy, do we!
Sorry, I tell you, man.
Please stop! Stop! You're killing me.
I've never seen a band get worse every day.
Right?
Every day it's getting
every
worse.
Song, every lick. I feel sorry for John 5, man. Poor guy.
It's like
I don't. He wanted this
little by little. I was shocked that he would even dummy himself.
Well, it's called
he's a fanboy, and it's money.
Hey,
and that's money.
It keeps money for him to keep buying that Kiss memorabilia, man.
If they asked him to be in Kiss, he'd be in there in a hot second.
Fuck yeah. You say, fuck you, Motley Crue. I'm going to Kiss.
He would come up with his own character and do his own makeup.
Well, the real tragedy of it all is the fact that it's holding up the release of the next Tommy Lee solo album. So that's really the heartbreaking part of that. So
it really is. Where is Methods of Mayhem?
Methods of what?
Yeah,
I've tried to listen to
that's what we really needed during this turmoil in the last few years is a new Methods of Mayhem album.
That's some COVID. Did he make that during COVID also?
That would bring the country together because I think we'd all collectively deport him somewhere.
I saw Methods of Mayhem in 2000 for he was in a Ozfest.
That sounds about right.
It was weird. It was a really weird set. All right.
That's great.
And Jerry, what have you been spinning, man?
Yeah, I'm kind of lazy.
No, wait. I'm sorry. I missed Jimmy. Jimmy, what have you been spinning?
Oh, you're good. This is a new venture for me. It's one of those I went into the record store and just kind of bought it. And it turned out to be pretty good, but I don't know if you've heard Bram Tchaikovsky before. It's kind of it's late 70s, not quite punk, but very poppy, kind of in that first Joe Jackson album vein, Pretenders, like that whole vibe. It's really, really good. I'm still getting used to it, still getting familiar with it, but it's been really good. Another one I've been pulling out. I don't know if you guys have listened to Blackberry Smoke much.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But
we did
man,
a review
I love that
on
band.
that with Stephen Michael from Growing Up Rock podcast.
Nice. They're phenomenal. They've got a Stones cover album that is absolutely tremendous. They did one. What's the record label that the Allman Brothers had?
Capricorn.
Yes, they did a whole Capricorn EP where they did like Midnight Rider. They did the first track off the first Marshall Tucker band. They just covered a bunch of Capricorn songs, and it is so good. But their own material is phenomenal. And if you like Southern rock at all, check them out. They're really, really worth your time. And lastly, I've been stuck on
Nice. Oh, Joseph's gonna
Tyranny
have
Mutation quite a bit. So I've listened to that album almost daily for the last few weeks, and I've actually the last few days have done the 50th anniversary show that they did in New York City, and that's phenomenal too because you have Al Burchard back in the fold, and they do some really cool deep cuts stuff off The Symbol Remains, and it's just great. So Joe and I were talking about it yesterday. So
cool.
Hey, they're not playing a swap meet down here coming up. I might go. I did watch him at a swap meet, which I thought was kind of embarrassing, but it was a good stage. It was a nice.
I've never in my life heard of a concert at a swap meet, and until you said that,
Don't mention bands at a swap meet, please.
Dude, they played there with Mark Farnar's American band. They were fucking good.
I'll tell you what, man.
Blue Oyster Cult puts on a great show no matter where they are.
But the stage was top notch, though.
Yeah. Blue Oyster Cult and Cheap Trick are two bands that will play
anywhere,
anything, anywhere, opening,
and
headlining.
They're always
whatever.
great. Yeah,
on
and they're always
forever.
great.
Fucking whores.
All right, Jerry,
and I'll be there.
Yeah, like I said, I've been kind of lazy lately. Instead of wanting to listen to individual albums, I've been greatest hitting it. I've been really digging the Creedence Clearwater Revival Chronicles. I've definitely been getting into that.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah.
Great stuff.
I got that on vinyl.
I haven't heard CCR in such a long time. It was actually very refreshing to hear this. And of course, I'm going to go there. I went there. Kiss Double Platinum. Much better performances of their first album, in my opinion. Of their songs on this one, I think it's everybody
loves
knows
Strutter
that.
78. Strutter 78 is phenomenal.
Yeah. And the Jag Giles Band greatest hits. I've been getting into that again. I haven't heard this in a while. It's good stuff, man. I mean, some of it's a little out there, but there's a really good rock and roll in these with this band, man. R.I.P. Jay Giles. And dude, I've been really digging fucking BB King lately. Man, this dude is awesome, man. What a great guitar player. What a singer. And what great blues this guy writes, dude. It's incredible. I mean, The Thrill Is Gone is like, man, it's like every time I hear that song, it's like, so it's so fucking cool. That's about it, though. I mean, other than what? Go ahead.
Him with you too rules.
But that's a good song actually. Love Comes to Town.
That's
a good song. Yeah, I agree.
And I did like the album he did with Eric Clapton, Riding with the King. That's pretty good too.
Oh yeah, that's a great album. All right, Mark, what have you been spinning?
This is something I keep putting into groups, putting in our chat groups, and it pisses me off. Nobody fucking tells me anything about it. It's like, if you like it, tell me. If you don't, tell me it sucks. But I think this is they made one album. It's called The Gracious Few with Kevin Martin of Candlebox and members of Live. This is a hard rock fucking album.
I told you I like that.
You did? This album rules.
A while back we talked about
Listen to this a lot, man. Yeah. It's one of my favorite, and Kevin Martin's solo album too. And I was listening, telling you guys today in the chat, I'm listening to Somewhere in Time again, and I go, fuck. The only thing that pisses me off is Heaven Can Wait. Heaven Can Wait. Shut up! I'd rather hear Feel the
I think they sing Caught Somewhere in Time one too many times too.
Not as much as Heaven Can Wait. There's at least a chorus for Caught Somewhere in Time. There's no chorus for Heaven Can Wait. But and Tom Petty and Rush. Usuals. No.
Yeah, for me, I've been so focused on doing so many other things. I'm working on a project right now, and I got CDs thrown all over the place. So, but I want to thank Jerry for a couple of things. For one, for sending me this Creatures of the Night. I think it's great. Thank you so much, Jerry. I am really enjoying this because when we think about where Kiss was at the time, they had just came out with The Elder, and before that they had come out with Dynasty, and they were trying different kind of things. This is just a good Kiss rock album, and I really do enjoy it, no matter who plays on it. And also, I've been getting into Queen, and I bought this Queen's Greatest Hits 1, 2, and 3.
That's a great set to have.
So I've been getting into this. I do have Sheer Heart Attack, and I bought The Miracle lately, and I've also got Sheer Heart Attack. What's the and Queen 2.
Queen 2.
That's my favorite.
Queen 1's my favorite.
So I'm slowly coming into the Queen club here. It's going to take me a little bit of time. So,
you need News of the World. 2 of the best songs they ever did are on that album.
And
Get Down, Make Love. God, I love that fucking song.
Also, for my project, I went to my uncle's to go get some CDs, some stuff that I didn't have, and I took this from him. I think I would keep this one for a while. Frank Zappa Lather.
Great album.
I'm really digging this. Of course, this has so many stories into it of how this became. You see, because I got on vinyl in bits and pieces, all 5 pieces, but it's really cool to hear it on here. So that's what I've been listening to and working on so many different things. So now let's get to the task at hand of why we are all here. All right, brothers, let's get this going. We are going to go around the horn. We are going to be doing 3 states each. Joseph will be taking care of the northeastern states. So go, Joe. What do you got, man?
Awesome. So I'm going to start my first 3. I'm going to do the very northeast part of the United States, starting out with Maine. And what better way to kick off a best artist from each state list than talking about a state that I had to really just dig deep because there was nobody, surprisingly, from the state of Maine. So I had to go really back in the archives for this one. But the artist that I want to talk about from Maine is a singer-songwriter from the 1920s and 30s that is actually a fairly popular name. That would be Rudy Valley. He was from the crooner era of the 1920s and 30s. He became an actor later on. He played a villain in a couple episodes of the old Batman show from the 60s. Not one of the premier villains, but he was in the show. He was also, I believe, I can't remember what else. He was in, what was it? He was in an episode of Night Gallery as well.
Ooh, I love that.
Great show.
He
was in some movies. I don't know if they have that. I don't know if they put that out on Blu-ray yet or not. But he was a singer-songwriter. He actually, the song As Time Goes By that was made famous by Casablanca, the movie Casablanca, that was actually one of his songs.
Oh, wow.
So he was in that sort of era of music in the 1920s and 30s when kind of crooners, singer-songwriters was really becoming popular. When you get into Bing Crosby, Perry Como, that sort of era, he really was kind of a precursor to a lot of those people. And you hear him mentioned by a lot of those guys as kind of a big influence on what would eventually become the crooner genre of Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra, on down the line. Okay. So that is probably the biggest name to come out of the state of Maine in terms of music. And so now we will move one state to the west, to New Hampshire. And this one, I had to cheat a little bit. This artist was born in the state of New Hampshire, but moved out of the state of New Hampshire when he was 2 years old. Because how could I do a list and not mention Ronnie James Dio?
Yeah.
Born in New Hampshire. I believe his father was in the military. He was on assignment in New Hampshire, and then when Ronnie was 2 or 3 years old, they moved back to, I believe, New York. But
Cortland.
Yes. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So he was
about
actually
a half hour from me.
Awesome. Yeah. So Dio was born in New Hampshire. There's not much I need to say about Dio. I mean, everybody knows Dio. Dio rules.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him. Dio rules. One of the greatest metal voices of all time. Rainbow, Black Sabbath, Dio, Tenacious D.
Heaven and Hell, everything.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Everything in between. I mean,
Kickapoo.
Yeah.
Hey, I think he went out with a great album.
Air Supply.
That band Heaven and Hell was a great fucking final album.
Yeah.
Ronnie James Dio.
Yeah, I'm hit or miss on Devil. You know,
I love that fucking album.
I've never been too sold on that album.
Bible Black is one of the
That's
best
a great
Dio
song.
songs of all time. Fucking A.
And then closing out my first 3, we move over to Vermont. This is one I had to Andy's rule of bands you know, not necessarily bands you like. Fish, ladies and gentlemen. I hate.
A lot of people like Fish. I like Fish.
Hate damn bands. Hate
Didn't I say some shit about Fish in the chat room last night?
You did. So probably aside from the Grateful Dead, probably the most popular jam band, especially by that point when Fish got popular, the Dead was kind of going out. Jerry Garcia was about to pass away.
Right.
Fish got very popular in the 90s, kind of took over that whole aesthetic, took over the popularity of having kind of like the swap meet in the parking lot before a concert.
Yeah, they had the fish heads.
Yep. Very, very popular. I've never understood the appeal. I am not a deadhead by any means.
It's called Shrooms and Acid. Shrooms and Acid.
I've always thought that those.
It's called good music.
I've always
Shrooms and Acid.
I've always thought that the appeal of that was much more about like the live shows and stuff. So it's not something that you can sit down and put a CD on and really say, okay, I get Fish. As someone who probably would never. Yeah. It's not. And so that is why personally I've never gotten into them. I'm sure if I saw them live, I could appreciate the musicianship. I'm sure. But I just not my scene necessarily.
I saw Trey Stosso. He opened up for Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, which was a really good show.
Fuck hippies.
Cool. Okay. So that wraps up my first 3 picks. I'll hand it over. We're going Jimmy next.
I just don't like Jant.
Hippies.
I'm with you, Mark.
I never say F people, but
I don't hate them.
Well, I'm saying hippie culture. Fuck hippie culture. There you go. It's a difference.
Anyway, that's my first 3 picks. Handing it over to is Jimmy next, Andy?
All right, Jimmy. Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen. All right, so I'm kind of taking the route of getting rid of getting off the table the most difficult states. So I've got both Dakotas. We're gonna knock those bad boys out. I'm gonna start with South Dakota, and I actually had to listen to a lot of artists to kind of decide what I wanted to get. The band I chose is a band called The Kickback, and they're kind of like a I wouldn't say emo-ish, but they're kind of like that mid-90s rock pop vibe. That's the best way I can describe it. I listened to them a little bit this week, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't offensive. It wasn't horrendous.
And that's the best you're going to get out of South Dakota.
Right. So then moving on to North Dakota, I had a 3-way tie between Wiz Khalifa, Lawrence Welk, and it was a great response. And I ended up.
I have a group called something about Lawrence Welk.
You missed it, Jimmy. Last week on BS, Mark went on a rant about Lawrence Welk.
I almost had a heart attack because of Lawrence Welk.
He
said Lawrence Welk. I got fucking I went back to my childhood. Stop.
He had nom flashbacks.
He did, yeah.
See, and I haven't finished that episode yet, so I haven't gotten to I've started the episode, I haven't finished it, so I'll definitely get into the rant soon, especially knowing the visceral response that created in Mark. So, but I ended up going with Johnny Lang.
Johnny's good.
Had no clue he was from North Dakota. And the thing that always stood out to me about Johnny was his voice. I mean, he came out, I think he was 14 or 15 years old, and he sounded like a 50-year-old gravelly voice. You know, he just kind of had that grit to his voice. And the other thing that stands out, did you guys ever watch the Drew Carey Show?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you remember the episode where they had a band and they were looking for guitar players? And they're auditioning. They've got Rick
Joe
Nielsen
Walsh
there,
was in there.
Slash. Joe
Walsh.
Walsh ends up becoming their guitar player.
Yeah.
But at one point, Johnny Lang is there playing, and they're outside, and Drew says, "Johnny, we hired you to mow the lawn, not play guitar." And he kind of like shrugs his shoulders, and then he goes and starts pushing the lawnmower down.
He was in Blues Brothers 2000 too.
Was he?
See, yeah, he was. See, Jimmy, I have a group called Survivors of Lawrence Welk, 23 members strong. Go ahead.
The Blues Brothers 2000 wasn't a great movie, but the music was awesome.
I like that movie.
Okay. See, I never could bring myself to watch it since John had passed away. But
John Goodman's in there.
They paid him homage. They paid Belushi homage.
Nice. I could probably go back and watch it now, but when it first came out, I was like,
one of the best mass car crashes of all time. Seriously, like last 5 minutes. All these. Cars.
I got that on 4K. Love the Blues Brothers.
Nice. And then my third state, I'm going to go with Iowa, and it's kind of hard to choose anybody but Slipknot. I mean, that's
Yeah.
they.
They're from
And
Iowa, really? Those
yeah,
weirdos from
I know,
Iowa?
They have
right?
an album
Right.
called Iowa.
Well, I don't know them, so I don't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Well,
do. That was their second album,
I don't
and
know
it's
them, but I know what their albums are.
I kind of have a love-hate relationship with them. I remember teaching guitar at the time when the first album came out, and my students bringing in the record, and just having a nightmare trying to figure out all these like uber down-tuned 7-string guitars and stuff. And it's just, that was just kind of starting to come in vogue. But I remember hearing at work the Wait and Bleed come on, and the loud vocals drove me crazy. But when Corey would sing in his normal voice, it always struck me. He's got a great voice.
Yeah,
And I wish
That's why I like Stone Sour.
I like Stone
Yeah.
Sour. Yeah.
Well, but then when Volume 3 came out in like Duality and what was the other big song off there? Before I forget, I love those songs. You know, 'cause you still have the aggression, and but you get the cleaner Corey vocals. So
Right.
those are my 3 picks. And are we moving to Jerry?
Yeah, Jerry. So Johnny the Lion, Kickback, and Slipknot. Interesting choices. All right, Jerry, you got the Southeast.
They're the
What are you
Southeast
coming out
Conference. Would have been great if it's like the college football division, but other than that, the music was kind of far. Well, there were some states that had good music, but I'm gonna start out with Alabama. Like, what the fuck is from Alabama?
Alabama.
Well, I did find a band that
Alabama.
I actually I did find a band that I'm not gonna do country. I'm gonna do stuff that
I like
know.
Alabama though. One of the few
Me
country
too,
But I'm
bands
gonna do with a band that I actually kind of like. I liked them in the '90s a little bit. I know some people really didn't like them, but I'm talking about a band called Brother Kane. You ever hear them?
Oh, I love
Oh, yeah,
Brother
yeah.
Kane.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got all.
I
I
know
got,
Shane.
I got all
Shane
their
is a
albums.
Great fucking
dude.
song.
He's in another band I like, but he just left. The Thin Lizzy band. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I know they only had like 3 albums in the '90s. I don't even know if they're still together, to be honest with you. But
Black
He's
Star
like Alice
Riders.
Yeah.
Cooper, didn't he?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
in Black Star Riders for years.
don't turn your back
I
on
love
me.
Black
That's
Star
that's
Riders.
some
man.
great stuff.
Oh, yeah, Brother Ken was all over the radio around here
Yeah.
during that time.
Yeah.
Well, okay, cool. I thought that would be one of those bands you guys didn't like.
You guys
but,
can request them on Cranium. I have them all.
I won't go that far.
I love them. I'll probably put them in the set list now.
all right,
Yeah,
then I'll
See
move
what you
on.
did, Jerry.
Yeah, I know. Next, I'm going to go with Arkansas, and I'm going to pick
Yo,
Little
mama.
Cutie Pie with a great voice, Amy Lee and Evanescence, man.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I really dig their first 2 albums. I'm not much
Yeah.
after that. To be honest with you, I'm not too familiar with
Their
them.
last 2 albums are really good.
I've heard stuff from them. I just didn't like it.
I
To
have
me,
it
I
on
think
vinyl.
when Amy and Ben Moody did that first album, I thought they were a pretty good songwriting deal. But since he left, I don't know. They kind of, I don't know. This
It was
might
never
be-
the
but-
same after Ben.
Yeah, but their first album was incredible, dude. I mean, My
That's
Immortal was like such a great vocal. It's like, damn, it makes you cry hearing it. Yeah, they were a cool band. I mean,
They are.
they're still coming out with new music and touring, and
I seen them live twice. She was really good the first time. The second time they had an orchestra up there with Lindsey Sterling playing like violin, and I was like, this fucking sucks. I don't like bands that go orchestrations. I like them when they rocked. When I saw them before that, so
it depends. I like some of those bands that have orchestras behind them. Like Styx's one was awesome. The
some bands could do
Collective
it.
Souls was really good. Yeah.
Evanescence couldn't because her voice was overshadowed by the orchestra.
Hell, Metallica did it.
Metallica did it well for the first one, not the second one.
All right, then I'll move to Florida, which there's only one obvious choice from Florida. And Mark will probably agree with me in this one. That's Tom Petty. I mean,
I was so jealous she got Florida.
there's a lot I could have took it, but I looked at him. And Tom Petty.
Where is he from? Gainesville. man.
Gainesville.
Gainesville.
Yeah.
Mud Crunch is also from there too.
I mean, Tom Petty, we don't have to talk about Tom Petty. We talk about him all the time. He's just a legend. Rest in peace. He should still be with us, but unfortunately, something fucked up happened to him. But we still got his music, and he's awesome. So
It's called
those are
being a workaholic and wouldn't get surgery and took pain pills.
Yeah. So those are my first 3.
All right, Mark, what is your first three? What do you start off with?
I'm going to start off with one of the hardest states to find somebody out. If I wanted to pick Jewel, it would have been cool. No, I don't want to pick Jewel. Alaska. So I dug deep and hard on this. I had to find somebody who came from Alaska. There ain't shit in Alaska. There ain't nothing up there to fucking frozen tundra, and it's not Green Bay. Fucking Janet Gardner from Vixen was born in Alaska.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I fucking dug hard and for that said, what rock stars were born in Alaska? And Google came, oh, fuck yeah, I got somebody I like. And in Hawaii, there's really nothing from Hawaii unless you like Bruno Mars. He's okay, but I wouldn't pick Bruno Mars. So I picked Don Ho.
Hey, man, he was cool, man.
Don Ho rules, man. And then I had my second one, but I didn't know she's really Tia Carreras from there too. So
that could have been a good one too.
Yeah.
But then, was she really a musician, or
that's what I'm saying?
Yeah, she plays.
Yeah.
She's a real musician.
She sang in Wayne's World.
Yeah, but I think she released an album, didn't she?
Yeah, she did. Mm-hmm.
She did.
She did,
So
right?
Tia Carrera, but Don Ho's my number one from there. Tia Carrera's my off.
Don Ho was a pimp.
I got one more.
Yeah, your third one.
I'm gonna go from Washington. No, I'm not going for any of the fucking grunge up in Washington. I'm not going for Heart, Jerry. You're probably hurting your soul right now. I'm not going for I love Heart. I'm gonna go for a band that I fucking absolutely love that I listen to more than Heart these days. Candlebox.
I thought you were going to go with that.
No, I went with Candlebox because Candlebox didn't make a bad album. Queensryche has. I'm just saying.
You're not wrong.
I'm not wrong. So Candlebox is from Washington.
All right. So you got from Vixen, Don Ho, and Candlebox. Nice. So I'm going to start my list off with two states that I left off that I had to add on. And one of them is going to be Virginia. I was surprised this band was Virginia. I've seen them live. Very interesting show. One of the most interesting shows I've ever seen in my life. I stood there with my mouth open wondering, what world am I in? Guar is from Virginia.
Yes.
Isn't that punk band from Virginia too? The three-piece punk band?
Huh?
There's a punk band from there that Dave Grohl loves.
Oh, okay.
I mean, there's a lot of artists from Virginia, but
Yeah, but they're
Guar.
like one of the most influential punk bands from Virginia.
But man, when I was going to see Guar, I didn't think I was going to get out of there alive. To be honest with you, I thought
you were going to get eaten by the world maggot or
I was getting
something.
eaten by something. I'm not too sure what it was, but something was going to eat me before I left there, and not in the good way either. I was going to die.
If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend going on YouTube and watching Guar on the Joan Rivers show. It's one of the funniest things you will ever see.
Yeah,
they're hilarious on there.
Or Odorous Yargus reading Goodnight Moon.
yeah, I've seen that. I wasn't too sure if it was Joan Rivers or Sally Jesse Raphael.
They mentioned Sally in there.
Huh?
He makes a joke about Sally Jesse in there. But yeah, yeah, you can tell Joan completely gets it. Like she's in on the joke.
She's a genius herself.
Awesome. Yeah.
And from West Virginia, I was happy to see this one out of West Virginia. I'm talking about the Ain't No Sunshine While She's Gone. Bill Withers is from West Virginia.
Yeah.
And then there was a state that I forgot that Jerry brought up before we went on the air, and that's Delaware. And that is home of the great George Thorogood and the Destroyers.
Nice.
So those are my three. I went with Guar, Bill Withers, and George Thorogood. That's a really good one.
That's good. That's really
that's a tour. That's a tour I would go to.
No shit.
Yeah, right.
I would like to see Guar. I seriously.
I want Guar to headline it too.
I would love to see
absolutely.
Guar after Bill Withers.
Yeah.
Aaron Camaro loves you for saying Guar.
I'm glad somebody loves me. That's great.
I love you too, Andy.
I needed it because today was a bad day, man. Bad day. But I knew I was going to be doing this today. So I would just, I wanted to leave work, but it was only 1 o'clock. I said, fuck, I got 4 more hours.
That was me at 8:00 when I started.
Dude, and it got so slow. I was like, oh my God.
Don't you hate it when you're sitting there going,
Oh, well, no, I found things to do, but man, I sure.
or Disneyland, I'm sitting there saying, should I cook? Should I not cook? Should I cook? Oh, we're slow. Wait, when it's dead at Disneyland, it's dead at Disneyland. I just say.
Today, remember that part on Pee-wee's Big Adventure when he got his fortune? It said, don't leave the house today.
Yeah.
I really felt like that today. I just wish I did not leave the house. Of course, I told everybody at work that joke. They're like, what's Pee-wee Herman? Never mind.
Yeah.
Right.
Never mind.
We're old, Andy.
No, we know good shit, man.
No, Mark, don't say that it's because you're old. I'm 26 and I know who Pee-wee Herman is.
I know.
How you're uncultured if you don't know who Pee-wee Herman is.
Right.
That's the difference.
You're an old soul dude. You got Columbo in your collection, man.
Well, that's true. But also, I mean,
I feel like
you realize the good decades, though, of TV and music. So.
Well, he had great parents. He was trained.
That is very true.
All right, Joe. What are your next 3 states?
All right, now we're moving down into New England, and I'm going to start out with Massachusetts. A ton of amazing bands from Massachusetts, of course. Aerosmith, the Jay Giles Band. Jerry brought them up earlier. The Cars came from Massachusetts, but the one I'm going to pick.
Are they really from Massachusetts?
They are.
They're from California.
Yeah. No, they're from Worcester, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Well, I should know that they played CBGBs all the time. So should have known that.
But of course, I got to go with the band that named themselves after the city that they're from. One of Jerry's all-time favorite bands, Boston.
Of course.
Yeah.
One of the most iconic debut albums of all time. Great follow-up with Don't Look Back. Love Third Stage. I'm not very familiar with all the stuff after that. Jerry said that there's some good stuff after that. I still have to check that stuff out. But I think Boston is just absolutely one of the most iconic bands of the 70s for that debut album alone. So I got to pick them for Massachusetts. Then we're going to jump down to Connecticut. Now, there's 2 that I want to mention from Connecticut that are on very polar opposite ends of the spectrum. The first one is not my pick because I've talked about them enough in recent weeks, and that is the Carpenters. Karen and Richard Carpenter are both from Connecticut. But the band that I'm going to pick...
probably come from Connecticut.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. A band that you wouldn't guess would come from Connecticut. One of my favorite progressive metal/rock bands of the late 80s into the 90s, and that is Fate's Warning. Came out of Connecticut. Started out in the 80s with some great albums. Awaken the Guardian, No Exit. They got popular in the late 80s, early 90s. They had some singles off Perfect Symmetry and Parallels that got pretty popular. And then I think they had some really great stuff towards the end of the 90s.
Right.
With, we talked about, oh God, why? Pleasant Shade of Grey. I don't know why that album title left my head. But Pleasant Shade of Grey, one of my favorite concept albums of the 90s. Some great stuff. Disconnected came after that. Some really, really great progressive rock and metal out of Connecticut. And then we're going to close it out with Rhode Island. Close out the New England states with Rhode Island. 2 that I want to mention as honorable mentions. The first one, Bill Conti, famous composer of particularly movie soundtracks. He wrote the songs for Rocky, a lot of different movie soundtracks. He was popular. Also from Rhode Island, John Cafferty of John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band, Eddie and the Cruisers.
New Jersey?
No, Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
But my pick from Rhode Island is a little left field pick, and that is Wendy Carlos, who did the soundtracks for Clockwork Orange, for The Shining, for Tron. Also, she became famous. Her album Hooked on Bach, when she would do electronic synthesizer versions of classical music that got pretty popular. Really kind of, I talked about it last night or yesterday with Jerry on an episode that we recorded about the kind of when the Moog synthesizer kind of became popular. Wendy Carlos was really, really at the kind of front end of that movement of making the Moog synthesizer really popular in the late 60s and the early 70s. So that is my pick for Rhode Island, Wendy Carlos.
And one of the first known transgender people in the music biz, and
Yep.
was very open about it so early on, and she was already widely accepted during the late '60s, early '70s because of how brilliant of a career that she was having.
Yep.
And she wasn't looked over for jobs at all. In fact, she was looked for
Yep.
jobs. Very good pick. All right, Jimmy,
All right.
what's your next three?
All right. So next, I'm going with Wisconsin. I almost went with the Bodines.
Good one.
Again, really good kind of late 80s, early 90s, just pop, accessible
They
music.
did the Party of Five theme
Right.
song.
Right. It's again,
I used to
really
watch that
solid.
I did too. Jennifer Love Hewitt's hot.
After Love
Come
Hewitt
on.
was the only
Neve
reason why I
Campbell.
liked it.
Right?
Neve
Yeah,
Campbell.
right?
Hey, Neve Campbell was cute too, man.
No, it's not even.
But Jennifer.
No,
Love
not
Hewitt-
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
God.
She's a new. I knew I did know what you did last summer movie.
Like my last wife used to say when I said I love Jennifer Love Hewitt. She goes, "You love Jennifer Love Hewitt big tits." I go, "Yeah."
Yeah, she's nice to look at.
Yes, not a very good actress.
No,
She don't have to be.
Yeah, she doesn't have to be. You don't have to do your job right when you look like that.
Sorry, Jimmy.
No.
she's kind of like Keanu Reeves, School of Acting. But I love
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves better than her.
I love him too, but the guy can't act.
He can act. He does his job. Shut up.
But I love the
Seems
guy.
like a
Don't get me
legitimately
wrong.
good dude. Seems
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a legitimately good
Yeah,
dude.
He still rides the bus and shit like that. I mean,
Right.
Can you imagine
Right.
getting on the bus? There's fucking Keanu Reeves sitting there.
Shit, he would come up and say, "Hey, dude, let's have a
Probably
beer,
would.
man."
Well, probably because he acts for free.
Mm.
Maybe he does do that a lot. I think he got paid shit for the last John Wick, that ballerina movie. He didn't get paid anything for that.
Wow.
That movie was awesome.
He was good.
Did you watch John Wick movies yet?
I haven't yet, man. No,
You're a fucking lagger.
I know.
Wisconsin.
Yelling at me for not getting
Yes.
videos done. I'm doing some videos. Now you're yelling at me for not getting up with the movies.
I've been
What's
yelling at
next?
you, John Wick, for 4 or 5 years already.
That's
so-
longer than that.
Longer than that, yeah.
Sorry, Jimmy. Again, I apologize.
And you
Yeah,
like
no.
ballerina, so it makes sense you go back and watch it. So
Let Jimmy talk.
So-
There it is. Y'all can have your
Wisconsin.
little spat somewhere else.
I'm guessing this is my neighbor's favorite band. And I saw them on the list. I had to go with it. And it's a doom sludge stoner rock metal band by the name of Bongzilla. And
that's cool.
Homezilla.
but here's the thing. Incredible riffs. They're a really good band. And I believe Heavy Psych Records is the label they're on, and I've got some other records in my collection from that label. So that's kind of one of the reasons they stood out. It's kind of a little bit more of almost black metal-ish vocals, which I'm not a huge fan of, but the music is so good I can overlook the vocals. And name aside, they're really good. And the nice thing is there's no false advertising with the name. You know exactly what you're getting. You know what the music is going to be about.
Homezilla.
You know what they were doing.
I gotta
when
check
they
that out. I'm
recorded
gonna write that down and check.
I wrote that down already. I'm gonna check that out. Put a star next to it.
Next, I'm going with Ohio, and I had to go with this band out of Cleveland, Ohio. I think one of the first power pop bands ever, the Raspberries.
Nice.
Eric Carmen, just it's some of it's kind of bubblegummy, but you can see where they're kind of taking what the Beatles did and taking it to the next step. And 4 albums, all of them are worth checking out. Love the Raspberries. Third, I'm going with Minnesota, and I know that there's a short guy that people automatically kind of associate with Minnesota, and I will never knock him. He's phenomenal.
He's
Love
purple,
him.
right?
Yes, he is purple, and I think Sign the Times is one of the greatest albums ever
Fuck
made.
yeah.
But that's my favorite Prince album by a mile.
Sexy
But
motherfucker.
what I'm going with is a band that I absolutely love, and I have to talk about them. And if there's one band that anybody checks out on my list, I hope it's this one, and it's the Jayhawks.
Oh, they're pretty
And
good.
Yeah.
if you've never heard the Jayhawks, it's kind of they're heavily influenced by Tom Petty and Neil Young and that whole vibe, but there's the strong melodic, not that those other guys didn't, but you can hear the Beatle influence vocally, great harmonies, great songs. Um, Hollywood Town Hall and Tomorrow the Green Grass are two great places to start. Please, if you hear nothing else that I say all night long, please check out the Jayhawks. They are an absolutely phenomenal band and well worth your time.
Yeah, on two things there. The Raspberries from Ohio. Wasn't there a kind of a power pop movement in those states there, right
Yeah.
there in the Midwest?
I would say so,
like
yeah.
Illinois, Ohio, Iowa, especially there in the early 70s.
Illinois.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Can I say something?
Of
Cheap
course.
Trick took it to the next step, not the Raspberries from the Beatles.
Well, they're a transition between that. I mean,
Yeah.
and you can hear, I mean, the
Yeah.
guitars are heavier on the Raspberry records. They're louder. You've got more distortion on them. So they really are the step between the Beatles and Cheap Trick. So
I'll give you
I
that
would
one.
say that they are that transitional band.
Yeah, because the Raspberries were early 70s and Cheap Trick came out in the late 70s,
Yeah.
is how you would think about that. And that's how
I'm just thinking, I just always go Beatles, Cheap Trick. I go just slide past everything else.
And when it comes to the Jayhawks,
And
they
that's
were
why I
part
brought
of
the
that.
Raspberries.
And the Jayhawks, they're part of that Americana movement in the mid '80s. That was pretty interesting. You know the
And then you had that back in the 2000s with Wilco or Winco or whatever their name
Wilco, like Sunvolt.
Wilco, yeah.
And Sunvolt.
Wilco's a really good band.
Yeah. Uncle Tupelo, I think, was another one that was kind of in that vein.
Oh, well, yeah.
Wilco's
Uncle
pretty good.
Tupelo branched out to Wilco and Sunvolt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All great bands.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Interesting stuff. I like that country rock.
Me too.
I do too. Thank you, Eagles.
Yeah.
Poco.
Well, I think the Eagles are better than Poco.
Well, I mean, both the bass players came from Poco.
Poco was the breeding ground for the Eagles.
I agree. Well, so was the
that
Birds.
Linda Ronstadt. Yeah.
The Birds
and Jackson Brown.
The Birds also.
All that
California
singer-songwriter kind of mixed in perfectly.
Yeah.
All right, Jerry, what's your next round?
All right, I'm going to stink it up a little bit here from South Carolina. And I'm going to go there. I'm going to go with Hootie and the Blowfish, man.
From where? South Carolina, right?
South Carolina, yep.
I said last year they were surprisingly one of the most fun concerts I've ever been to.
I saw them on their first tour. They were actually pretty good live. So
I like Hootie and the Blowfish.
You know, I know their first album. I don't even know how many albums they've done since then. I know they did at least one more because it was.
I know the first album, and I know the very disappointing second album.
So who's picking the Spin Doctors? I'm just joking. Go ahead.
I know whoever has Illinois. There's only one correct answer. But when
Cheap Trick
comes, my second one is from Kentucky, based on just one song, and it was in Happy Gilmore soundtrack. I want to kiss you all over.
Hey, Exile.
Till the night closes.
Love that song.
That's a great song.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't know they were from Kentucky. Of course, that was another hard state to find. I mean, there's some all right bands there, but when I saw Exile, I'm like, dude, that song rules, man. So I had to pick that one. All right, then I'm going to go to North Carolina, and this is a kick-ass band because their albums Deliverance and Blind in the 90s were fucking incredible. I'm talking about Corrosions of Conformity, man. What a
fuck yeah.
band, dude.
I get to see them with Alice Cooper and Judas
I get
Priest.
to see them. I mean, those two albums and just alone are fucking killer, dude. I love that band. I think Mark plays them every now and then. Check out the show, craniumradio.com.
I haven't played them
Every
yet, but I
Tuesday.
will play them now.
Yeah, they will be. But yeah, what a great fucking band. I mean,
Yeah, nice.
so I had to end it on a high
Prince is
note.
getting
There.
played next week too. Fuck that.
Had to end it on a high note there. So those are my three.
Cool. So that was Hootie and the Blowfish, Exile, and Corrosion of Conformity. I've always liked Hootie and the Blowfish ever they came out, and I liked their second album called Fair Weather.
That fucking song was such an earworm.
Fairweather
back in the
Johnson.
90s, man.
Yeah.
Hold my.
He has that voice like the Counting Crows. I don't like that type of voice.
I don't like this country stuff though.
I didn't hear it.
Thankfully, when I saw them live last year, all he did was Wagon Wheel. That was the only one he did from his.
Oh, did he? Okay.
It's like that band.
was the only solo song
That
he
band
did.
Stain, Counting Crows, and Hootie and the Blowfish have the same tone of vocals.
I don't think Aaron Lewis sounds like
been a
them.
while.
He has that.
Dude, that song he did with Nita Strauss fucking ruled, dude.
Yeah, whatever.
Aaron Lewis's country stuff is awful, but
Very awful.
Aaron Lewis is awful, pretty much. Anyways,
Kind of beyond the realms of country. It's redneckish. I was like, damn, bro. This is a whole new genre.
there's a term that I have for, but we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah,
hey,
this
go
is
listen
like
to
the
Steven
early
Tyler
1800s.
country album. Enjoy.
I haven't. I'll never will. It may sound like fucking Led Zeppelin too, but I'll never, because my ass is never going to listen to it.
How to who?
I'll never know.
Steven Tyler.
Yeah.
All right, Mark. What's your next three?
Well, Jerry's gonna love this one. Oregon. Who comes from Oregon, Jerry?
Everclear.
I knew you'd know that. Everclear rules, and if you don't like Everclear, you suck. I'm sorry. That band is just amazing. They have
And
their own
Art is
sound.
doing really well with his MS, dude. He's
Yes,
really
he is.
fighting.
Man.
He's
Fucking
doing really well.
Really good, man.
I was
Good
able to
dude.
meet him one time. Nice
Good
guy.
dude.
I love Everclear. Fucking great band. And Scribble, if you're watching this, you're going, fuck yeah, Mark. I love you, Scribble, and big hug, brother. And then Idaho, Devil with the blue dress on. Devil with the blue dress. Paul Revere, the fucking Raiders, man.
Wow.
I love that band. And I was like, yes, somebody's from Idaho that I like. Fuck yeah. My mom used to jam their greatest hits all the time. Fucking great shit. That band is a fucking rocker. If you just want to party, just play fucking Paul Revere and the Raiders' greatest hits. And then I'm going to Nevada. What do you think I'm going for in Nevada?
The Killers.
No, not even close.
Nevada. Let me think.
Up all night,
Oh, Slaughter.
sleep all day.
Again, I didn't know they're from Nevada.
No, they're from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Actually, I do
Slaughter.
know that now. You're
Well,
right.
they're from wherever Vinnie Vincent dropped them off when he took them.
right.
where they dropped him off and took his record contract. Get that right. They fucking stole his record contract. And he said, we're leaving you wherever you're at, and we're going back to Nevada, bitch. Well, that's my three.
That's funny. All right, so I did my three, and I'm going to go back and start up on the top, and that is going to be, I'm going to hit Wyoming. What is in Wyoming?
Nothing. Devil's Tower. That's
With
about
the
it.
deer and the antelope play.
We
Dick Cheney.
when we started
Your
doing
mama.
this, I found this band. I was like, oh wow, I used to listen to this band when they first started in the early 2000s. So of course I don't have any more of their CDs. I passed them out or gave them away. But I went back and I streamed them this week. I was like, hey, I enjoy this. It got me back into that pop punk kind of movement. Teenage Bottle Rocket. I didn't know that they were from there. I know that they came out of Southern California, but their home base was Wyoming. Have any of y'all ever heard of that band?
Wyoming, no.
Teenage Bottle Rocket. They were part of that like Blink movement there in the early 2000s. Really good band. A lot of their songs were kind of tongue-in-cheek kind of comedy. Not that much substance into their lyrics, but they were a really fun band to listen to. And coming out of Nebraska, can anyone guess Nebraska? Anybody? Jerry and I are going to go see them in Rocklahoma. Stoner band. 311.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a band I don't like.
Yeah, I'm not 100% big into them. I like a couple of their songs. So
You know what, Jerry? You're not down. I'm not down with them either, so that's cool.
Yeah.
I like them. I've liked them since they come out. They've got a couple of good songs. I've got a couple.
The guy who raps is so whiny. It's like the guy who sings is great, but the guy who raps is like, it sounds like a little girl rapping. It's like, God damn.
Well, I like them. So
that's cool. I'm not putting you down. I'm just saying my opinion about what I try to like them because I like the singer who sang with them, but he ain't no fucking Tom. What's the guy from Linkin Park? I like that guy rapping with Chester. That was cool.
I thought his rapping skills were too thin from Linkin Park.
Mike Shinoda.
I got the skills.
And is that 2 or 3?
You have one more, Andy.
I got one more.
Wait, hold on.
Hey, how about that?
Nice.
You're supposed to go, boy.
Yeah, boy. So Kansas. I got Kansas. What band am I going to choose from there?
I have no idea. I don't know.
I did not go with the obvious one. I went with a jazz icon, Charlie Parker.
Nice.
Was from Kansas. So I went ahead and I tried to throw a little bit of curveball there, and I went with Charlie Parker. I used to date this girl who really, really liked Charlie Parker, so I got into his music. She was all into that jazz, and she smoked those little black clove cigarettes.
Ew, those things smell
disgusting.
Oh, they were gross, dude. God,
disgusting smell.
Very bad smell, and she would burn incense in her apartment. So
I like incense. That blocked the marijuana going in my room for my mom, so that was cool.
but all that smell. Ugh.
Jerry, did you ever have Dark Side of the Moon incense?
What's that?
They had a Dark Side of the Moon incense. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I could do without any of that shit.
And like when you were walking in towards her apartment, up on the walkway, like the hallway leading up to her door, you can already start to smell it. I was already dreading it. I was like, should I go in or should I just go home?
Should I stay or should I go now?
Should I just go?
If I stay, it will be trouble.
But, Charlie Parker, she introduced me to him, and then of course there's that movie by Spike Lee, right? Is it Spike Lee?
I think he did a Charlie Parker movie. Yeah.
Oh well, yeah, it was with Denzel Washington.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a Spike Lee joint.
Spike Lee joint, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Mo Better Blues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, I went with Charlie Parker as my choice. All right. What's your next 3? Joseph.
All right. So next, I'm going to be moving on to arguably one of the 3 most important states for music, and that is New York. Arguably so important that I cheated, and I divided this up. Because, of course, everyone's going to go New York City. But there's a lot more to New York than just New York City, in my opinion. So I picked one from New York City, I picked one from Long Island, and I picked one from upstate. Because they're 3 very...
Borough.
What'd you say?
Well, why just pick one from each borough?
I could have, honestly.
Yeah, you could have easily.
But just quickly to mention some in more New York City. Steely Dan was actually from New York City. A lot of people don't know that. Steely Dan from New York City. Foreigner was based out of New York City.
Yep, I know that.
Literally every jazz fusion band to ever be created was based out of New York City. Weather Report, Mahavishnu, Return to Forever. They were all based out of New York City. But of course, if you know me, you know exactly what band I'm picking from New York City.
Beastie Boys?
No, fuck no. I hate the Beastie Boys.
I love the Beastie Boys.
Of course, every punk band that ever existed pretty much came out of New York City. But if you know who I am...
Oh, you got to.
You got to.
Of course it's Kiss.
Of course it is. So that's my pick for New York City is Kiss. My pick for Long Island, Jimmy held up one of their albums earlier. The great, amazing, epic Blue Oyster Cult. My pick for Long Island. And then for
pick Billy Joel for New York or New Jersey.
and then for upstate New York. Hail and kill, everyone. Hail and kill. Gotta go with Man of War. Manowar from upstate New York.
Blow your speakers, Mark.
Blow
Come
your
on,
speakers out.
What part of upstate New York? I mean, like in what?
They
town?
are from Auburn, New York.
Auburn,
was
okay.
where
Real men
Manowar
wear
was
loincloths.
from. Real men wear loincloths. So that is
Could have
my
also gone with the
cheating.
rods.
That is true. Could have gone with the rods. I mean,
But it was hard to pick something from New
God.
York. Come on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's like literally
Yeah.
for when I ended up having to pick freaking Rudy Valley from Maine, and then I could have gone with 800 different bands from New York.
Right.
So that's why I kind of had to cheat, just because there's so much more to New York than just New York City. So I had to
Right.
mention
Yep.
New York State as well as Long Island. Moving down to New Jersey, a much smaller state in landmass, but still quite a lot of musical talent to come out of New Jersey.
Yep.
Of course, if you go back in music history a little bit, you got Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. I mean, Jersey Boys. It's called that for a reason. The Misfits came out of New Jersey. Skid Row came out of New Jersey. Another artist came out of New Jersey who I have absolutely no respect for as a musician or a human being, so I will not mention his name. But of course, when your debut album is entitled "Greetings from Asbury Park," there's only one person you can go with from New Jersey, and that is Bruce Springsteen. So
He's the boss for a reason.
I would have picked Billy Joel from New Jersey. He's from New Jersey.
He's from New York, Mark.
He's
from Long Island.
Okay, I would have picked
Long
Billy
Island.
Joel.
He's from Long Island.
I would have picked Bon Jovi from New Jersey.
Hush yourselves. Hush yourselves. I said there's someone that I have no respect for as a human being or a musician, and I will not mention his name.
Bon Jovi?
Yes.
Why? He's a great
good
guy.
person. He's a good person.
He helps the homeless.
The station. That's why. Is that it, Joe?
Yeah.
Oh.
The whole station fire thing.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no. So I had to go with Bruce Springsteen from New Jersey. Yeah, just probably one of the most iconic, like the face of New Jersey.
He's the governor.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's the governor of New Jersey. Always will be. Ever since 1973.
Yep. And then wrapping it up, I'm saving my home state for last, so I'm going to close it out this little section here with Maryland. 3 of my all-time favorite musical artists came out of the state of Maryland. The first being a little band called Clutch, one of my favorite bands. The next one from Baltimore, Maryland, the great Frank Zappa out of Baltimore, Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
I know what your number one is.
Of course, I had to go with them. One of my all-time favorite bands.
Pretty obvious, yeah.
It's pretty obvious. Child's Play. No, I'm just kidding. But they are a great band out of Baltimore, local band. But I had to go with Kix. I mean,
of course,
Hagerstown Zone, one of my all-time favorite bands. Very, very important band, special to me. Should have been bigger.
3 bands I played like on my first 2 radio shows: Armored Saint, Kix, and Rush.
Yep. And Clutch. You played Clutch on both.
I said Clutch. Didn't I say Clutch?
No, you said Rush.
You said Rush.
And Clutch. 4 bands. I played all 4 of those bands every week so far. And they probably will be played every week. And Y&T needs to come back.
Yes. Bring back Y&T.
I need to bring back Y&T.
I was going to say, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, about Zappa. They moved from Baltimore to California because of his asthma.
Yes.
And he sure does sing a lot about asthmatic things.
Yep.
He really does.
Yeah, he couldn't deal with that
with the factory and all that smoke.
Yeah. Well, the Bay also. The Bay just so it's a lot better now, but when he was growing up, the Inner Harbor of Baltimore was a junk heap. It was nothing. It was almost as bad as New York City as far as pollution goes.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And then of course he moves out to California, talk about air pollution, but I
live here.
I know. I was about to say cough for us real quick. Anyway, throwing it over to Jimmy for his next 3.
Awesome. So my next state, I'm going to go with Missouri.
All right.
I almost chose Chuck Berry.
Oh, good one.
Yeah.
I ended up going with Ike and Tina Turner. And I'll tell you what, I put on the album Working Together because I was still kind of trying to decide what I wanted to choose. And man, it just floored me. Tina's voice. She was a rock and roll
Spousal
singer.
abuse is not cool.
No,
It's
Don't
not.
do that.
It's not. But I'll tell you what, man, you can hear the pain in her voice when she sings those songs. This was recorded Working Together was recorded in 1970, I think.
Ooh.
And man, she was a rock singer. You know what I mean? It's I think vocally she's one of our the US's greatest gifts to the world.
Oh,
And
Oh, dude, that Private Dancer album is fucking legendary.
that album is
it's
so good.
phenomenal.
Mark
I-
Knopfler wrote that song.
Yep.
Yeah. But this is just, and I mean, for what a horrible human being he was,
You can write
Ike
songs.
Turner, he could write songs and he was one hell of an arranger. I mean, his arrangements, their version of Get Back is incredible on here. They do a version of Let It Be that is amazing. And I generally don't like it when people do Beatles covers, but they did a pretty damn good job on both
Crew
of
nailed
those.
it with Helter Skelter. What are you talking about?
They did.
They
I'm
did.
being serious. I thought they did.
Yeah.
They did. But it's
That was better than the original.
Oh, I don't know about better than
I
the
don't
original.
know about that, but
Yeah.
I knew the Motley Crue version first.
Oh yeah, me too. But then when I heard the Beatles,
Come Together too from Aerosmith. I heard that first actually too.
and what was the other one I was thinking of? Cheap Trick doing Day Tripper.
Yeah.
Cheap Trick
Was-
does
was-
any Beatles songs great.
Yeah. But I mean, for as many people as have covered Beatles songs, a lot of them just need to be left alone.
It's just yeah, that one band Last in Line, they did oh god. Day in the Life. I go, why?
Oh.
It's horrible.
that's hard.
So now we're getting into the states where I'm running into the same issue Joseph had with New York, and I'm going to start with Illinois. And this is next to an impossible task because
Yeah, I
you
agree.
have REO Speedwagon, you have Chicago, you have Styx, and just a countless number of bands. Who I ended up going with, it's in my DNA. From the time I could walk, I was listening to their records, and it's Cheap Trick. It's,
Right answer.
I mean, but you're not going to go wrong with Styx or
No.
Chicago or on my turntable. Chicago is on there probably more than anybody, but Cheap Trick it's just in my DNA. I mean, I had two older sisters who were in love with Robin Zander, and every time my parents left, either Dream Police went on, Heaven Tonight, or Budokan, and it's just there. So I got to go with Cheap Trick. Here's the really tough state. I've got Michigan.
No.
Michigan. So you're looking at the MC5.
Yeah.
You're looking at Alice Cooper,
Super.
Iggy Pop.
Iggy Pop.
Just a countless number.
Alice Cooper's from 2 states.
Yeah, I mean he was
I mean,
born.
there's
in
a lot of
Detroit,
bands
but-
from multiple states.
Yeah.
I'm hoping you're picking who I think you're going with. I really do.
Two bands it came down to for me, and I'm just going to cheat because Andy said we could, so I'm going to.
I didn't think it was cheap, but okay.
My first band is going to be Grand Funk Railroad.
Yeah.
Damn, those first albums when they were a trio. You talk about a powerhouse band. Mark Farner does not get enough credit for his vocals. Mel Schaller does not get enough credit as a bass player. You listen to his bass tone on those early Grand Funk records, those bass lines are just, in the words of Homer Simpson, the bong rattling bass of Mel Schaller. It's there. Don Brewer, hell of a drummer, hell of a vocalist. And I remember when my stepdad moved in, putting on that Red album. I know I've talked about it before, putting the needle down and just being completely floored. My last pick and this is where I struggled, and this was going to be my sole pick. I put on Live Bullet this week,
That's who I'm hoping.
Yeah.
and I'll tell you what, books have been, the stuff about Bob himself. I mean, you could fill volumes of books. The guys that don't get talked about, it's the Silver Bullet Band, and that is one hell of a rock and roll band.
Yeah.
He retired
You-
because the saxophone player died.
Yeah.
Put it that way. Yeah.
Yeah. And you talk about a period of time where you had musicians, because what they had been doing it since the 60s, that group, right?
Oh,
I
with the
mean,
system. Yeah.
yeah, essentially the same group of guys, right? And those guys played probably 330 nights a year.
Damn.
I mean, I'm just assuming like those were guys who became great by playing town to town to town, playing every night, loading up a station wagon. And by the time you get to that live bullet record, you've got a well-oiled machine. And listen to the Bo Diddley medley. Listen to
Yeah.
Ramblin' Gamblin' Man, which is one of the hardest rockin'. I still get chills when I hear that. The volume instantly goes up when that comes on live bullet. They're covering Nutbush City Limit. Speaking of Ike and Tina.
Yeah, I like that better.
A whole lot. Yeah. Get
I like that a whole lot better. Yeah.
So that Silver Bullet band is
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
live bullet
Yeah.
rules. It's one of my
Yeah,
favorites.
and-
Nine Tonight is also a great live album too.
Phenomenal.
That's my
But that
favorite
band, those guys need to be talked about the same way the E Street Band is talked
Yeah,
about.
I agree.
Because
Why didn't they get
they're
in,
right there.
in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a
Yeah.
band?
yeah, it's a travesty.
Yeah.
So I'll step off my soapbox and I'll pass the mic to Jerry.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Louisiana. Like, what the
Louisiana.
fuck could be from Louisiana? But I was
A lot of
pleasantly
people from
surprised.
Louisiana.
Yeah.
Pleasantly surprised with this band. I thought they were a northern band, but fucking Zebra from Louisiana, man. I never
I didn't
knew
know
that.
They are from New Orleans.
Yep, great fucking band, dude. Their
Yeah.
third and fourth album, I think, are fucking classics, man. No Telling Lies, great stuff. And I think they're coming out with a new album this year.
They
or
They
early
are
next
with
year.
what's his name producing from Aerosmith? What's the guy? Who's the guy who produced the great Aerosmith albums?
Jack Douglas.
Jack Douglas. He's producing the new Zebra. Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
actually they just played here over the weekend, and I was busy, so I didn't get a chance to go see them. But I've seen them live; they're great.
Talk about a guitarist and singer that gets no fucking recognition is Randy Jackson, dude. The
Yeah.
guy's phenomenal, man.
It's not the dog.
not that dog either.
Not the
No
dog.
for me, dog. But yeah, I mean, I love Zebra, and I was actually pleasantly surprised to find out that they were from Louisiana, because I was like, oh my god. My next pick is going to be, I wasn't a huge fan of these guys, but I'm going to put a shout out for the lead singer, because if I had stage 4 fucking cancer, I'd be crying like a little bitch all the time, man. Brad Arnold from Three Doors Down. I mean,
Yeah.
props, dude. Props to that dude.
Yeah.
He's like, the way the positivity he has, as far as his situation, his faith, which I'm not really, much of a Christian, but he believes in what he believes. And I think that's awesome, dude. So, I
I did a tribute to him last night. I played a song when you guys were all off the station. It was towards the end. I said prayers and vibes, whatever you guys do to Brad Arnold, man. And I played Right Here Where I Belong, fucking a jamming song by Three
Here
Doors Down.
Without You's a beautiful fucking song.
Oh, great. Dude, they could
Love it.
rock, they could go ballad, they could do metal, they could do anything, that band. It's a fucking great band.
That was the
So,
first concert my wife and I went to go see was Three Doors Down.
Yeah. Nice.
So here's hoping he could beat, which is pretty much insurmountable odds,
Yeah.
but you never know.
You never know. What state was that from, Jerry? I'm sorry.
Mississippi.
Oh, okay.
All right, now my next band, one of my favorite bands, actually from Georgia, man. And to me, there's only one. That's the Crows, man. The Black fucking Crows, dude. Love that band. I mean, there's a few other bands from Georgia, but I thought about it, and I'm sorry, but I had to go with the Black Crows. Yeah, fucking love that album, dude. I still have not opened my box set yet. I'm afraid to open it.
Oh, I've opened mine. I'm gonna play
I
it.
just listen to the CD all the time. But yeah, I mean, that's fucking great, dude. I love that. Man, that was some killer shit. So yeah, the Black Crows were pretty much my unanimous choice for Georgia.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Georgia has a lot of good people.
There
that
are.
come out of there.
Yeah.
A lot. That's a very rich music state. All right, Mark. What do you got?
Well, I'm cheating because this guy is from 2 states. He's also from Michigan, but he's also he spends most of his time in Arizona now. Alice Cooper. So Alice Cooper from Arizona. And then I'm gonna go. This is Montana.
Montana.
Fucking Montana.
Montana. Yeah.
Are you going to talk about any dental floss salesman?
The bass player from Pearl Jam, Jeff Ament, is from Montana. There you
Alrighty
go.
then.
Big Jeff Ament.
Amen.
And then Utah, I do like a lot of this stuff. I like Donnie and Marie the best, though. But Donnie Osmond and the Osmonds, I'll pick all three. The Osmonds, Donnie, and Marie. I love the show. I love fucking Crazy Horses. Great fucking guitar solo in that song. They're great. I've seen Donnie Osmond live. He puts on a great show, by the way. And he
What was
I'll
that show?
take your word
Joseph and the something turncoat, whatever.
Dreamcoat.
The technology room.
But Donnie Osmond's, I recorded videos of his live shows. I got strikes on Freeform for putting up those videos because Donnie Osmond's a bitch. In fact, he gave me strikes, so I took those
He
off.
figured he would be happy somebody's playing.
Well,
Right?
that's it, Andy. Donnie Osmond's not going to listen to your show anymore.
Oh,
Mark just struck out for you right there.
Like he's listening anyway. But he put on a great show. It was really good.
That's cool, I guess.
I'm a little bit of country. I'm a little bit rock and roll. Come on. You guys never watched. Well,
Hey, his sister still looks fucking beautiful, man. So
a lot of plastic surgery, but yeah.
Hey, man, if you got the money, you want to do it, do it. I don't care.
But I used to watch the Donnie Marie show all the time, and Donnie was fucking good live. So I'm gonna give. He could still sing with no tapes.
The only good thing he ever did was being on that Weird Al Yankovic.
Maybe I should go watch Sean.
rap video he did.
Maybe I should go watch Sean Cassidy next. He's on tour.
What was that rap song Weird Al did?
White and Nerdy.
Roll it. Right and
White
nerdy.
and
Yeah.
Nerdy.
Right, white and nerdy. That's it. Yeah.
I love Weird Al. His tickets are fucking expensive as fuck.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I try to
yes.
get.
Well, he sells out everywhere.
Yeah.
God damn, it's like $300 a ticket. To
And
see
he got
Weird-
like a lot of rappers praised him for his rap skills on that song too.
well,
if I remember
except
right.
Coolio.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Coolio's pissed for Amish Paradise.
He should be pissed because he allowed him to do the fucking song. Why is he pissed?
Yeah. Well, probably because it's better than Gangster's Paradise. And that's probably why I got pissed.
What? Yeah, the thing about that is, it's a he took it from Stevie Wonder. So
Yeah.
what right does he have to get upset from a song that he completely lifted?
Completely.
Yeah, it's not
Hey.
even remotely.
I'm just
You
gonna
know.
say Coolio
Hidden.
ain't so Coolio.
He's dead, isn't he?
I think he's dead.
Yeah, he
passed away.
Hey, Tone Loc is still alive. I love Tone.
Yeah, well, Tone's okay. But it's kind of like what's her name that did the whole thing to Baby's Got Back. And she like completely ripped it all
Yeah,
off.
Nicki
I was like,
Minaj. Yeah.
yeah, Nicki Minaj. I was
Nicki-
like, what did you do? I mean, I don't understand. It's the same.
Well,
song.
that's all that most like mainstream rap is anymore. Is like taking like a sound bite and then just doing
Yeah.
some verses over it.
Yeah,
I
but
think
I don't even think she had any verse. I mean, I don't understand. It was like the whole thing.
Does
You know,
Beyonce
she had
have any
verses, but
verses?
they sucked.
Does Beyonce,
Beyonce
have
doesn't
any verses?
rap.
No, but she doesn't have any verses either. I'm just saying.
No,
Like
but
an American
She's
Badass from,
it's in a genre. They don't call it rap
Kid Rock.
anymore. They call it hip hop. So
Hip hop, yeah.
I really miss good rap. I really
yeah,
do.
I miss
Yeah.
NWA.
It's
Bring
been like
NWA
30
back.
years since I've heard really good rap.
We need Easy E to come back from the grave and fucking destroy you bitches.
I mean, think about in the '90s. Like any given week, there was like 4 different albums coming out from one of the members of the Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah,
Hey, Wu-Tang's on their final tour, so you guys should go check it out.
supposedly.
Yeah, we don't believe that shit anymore, do we? Thank you, Kiss and Scorpions. Okay,
And everybody.
and everybody.
Crap.
Where are we at, Andy? We're on the last song,
yes.
right?
My 3.
Yep.
I'm going to touch on Colorado, and I am going to touch on Oklahoma and New Mexico. So New Mexico, I was kind of iffy on what I was going to be doing here, but the first thing that came to my mind were the Shins. I was introduced to the Shins for the Garden State movie, and then my wife introduced me to a little bit more by the Shins, and I really dug them, and I was surprised. Well, I knew they were from New Mexico when I
Was
first
that
started.
Zach
listening to
Braff
them.
movie?
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Zach-
yeah.
I love
Yeah.
Zach Braff.
Zach Braff. It was a good movie. I liked it. A little slow, but the soundtrack was fantastic. And Oklahoma, the state of Oklahoma, I didn't know which way I was going to go here. There are so many great country westerns singers on there. There was also Flaming Lips were from there.
Ooh,
But that's not my choice.
thank God.
Okay, Mark, you went on 3 different Osmonds.
Yeah, right.
Well, what else was I gonna pick from Utah?
So yeah,
I could have picked Brandon Flowers from the Killers, but they actually started in Nevada. So
Nevada,
there you go.
right.
I wanted to pick Brandon. Okay, I wanted to pick Brandon. I like the Killers.
All right. But I did not pick them. I went with country, and I went with Garth Brooks.
Thank you.
Coming out of Oklahoma.
That's okay.
That was exactly who I hoped you'd pick.
Yeah. I was thinking of Reba as well.
Reba's great.
I just saw Reba last month. No, wait. Oh my God, what month are we in?
We're in July.
Has it already been 4 months? No, 3 months. I started 3 months ago for the first time. I've been wanting to see her, but I'm going to go with Garth Brooks. He was a phenomenal performer. I've seen him twice. In the 90s, he ruled the airwaves, especially when all that. I mean, he brought back the kicker movement and all the high schools. High schools now had kickers, rappers, headbangers, your poppers. I mean, it was just anything went, and it was fantastic. You were introduced to so much music at school there in the early 90s. It was just insane.
Probably to this day, the biggest crossover country star of all time.
Yeah, I think so too.
I agree. I don't like him, but I agree. I respect Garth. I give him a lot of respect. I do like "And the Thunder Roll." Yeah, I like that song.
Yeah.
Mark, you're like, there's nothing from fucking Utah.
There's nothing from Utah, dude. Nothing. No, except Brandon Flowers from the Killers, but they started in Nevada, so I had to go with the Osmonds.
So that's 3 for me, right?
You didn't do Colorado yet.
Oh, I didn't do Colorado. That's right. Hailing out of the state of Colorado, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Nice.
Yes.
I was surprised that they were from there. I thought that they were from New York or something like that.
Yeah.
Or LA. But when I saw Colorado, I was like, I got to pick.
They're
Earth,
playing
Wind,
in
and
October,
Fire.
and I kind of want to go.
So
Do it, Mark.
smooth.
Do it, Mark. They were amazing when I saw them last year.
Yeah.
I saw them with Chicago once, and it was
Yep, me too.
It was just a great show. So Earth, Wind, and Fire is for my Colorado. All right, guys. Now it's time to share our home states. Joseph, Pennsylvania.
Representing the great state of Pennsylvania.
Poison?
Some really great. No. No, Mark. But Poison is from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
They're actually quite a few. When I mentioned earlier, some of my family members know people who are related to Poison.
Yeah.
But just some bands I want to mention. Hall & Oates. I'm not a huge Hall & Oates fan, but Hall & Oates are from Pennsylvania. The Hooters. Mark and I were actually talking about the Hooters earlier. The Hooters are from Pennsylvania.
Just a quick question. Whenever those family members get together for a family reunion, do people have to call Poison Control?
Hey, you know, Poison are big Steelers fans.
Yeah, they are. Bret Michaels, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I literally just saw Bret Michaels last month in his hometown. So, I mean, pretty cool. But another band I want to mention, Breaking Benjamin, one of my favorite modern rock bands. Them. Breaking Benjamin are from Pennsylvania.
But play them.
But you should, Mark. I would love to hear some Breaking Benjamin.
Some Breaking Benjamin next week. Yeah.
But I had to go from the city of Philadelphia. Night songs and all, Cinderella.
Yeah.
I had to go with Cinderella.
Yeah.
Good one.
Good choice.
Yeah. Nice.
Excellent.
Jimmy.
All
Hard to
right.
believe like I said, it's hard to believe they only had 4 albums. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Tom
They're all
Kiefer has
good.
2 good solos.
And one of them's really good.
No,
What? Still climbing Heartbreak Station.
I'm partially kidding. I hate
Still
Heartbreak
climbing
Station, but I like the other 3.
Oh, I love Heartbreak Station.
I really like Heartbreak Station.
Still climbing the rules.
They got
a hard rock roots album.
arranging the strings on one of those songs, man.
Still climbing.
And Fred Curry actually played on that album.
I love Long Cold Winter, except for the song Long Cold Winter.
Oh, I
love that song, dude.
Love that
That's
song.
a never-ending song, bro.
Heartbreak Station. I'm not a big blues guy.
Come on, she took the last train.
I despise that song.
That song just drags on. Their songs
We
that
all
start off
need
good,
a little shelter.
and
I love that song.
and
Just
you're
a
like,
little
fuck, it's already at
The
4
more
minutes.
things
Come on.
change, the more they stay
That's a
the
great
same.
song.
That's a good song.
The
Yeah.
first time I saw Tom Kiefer, he opened up with that song.
All right,
Anyway, Jimmy, Indiana.
Jimmy,
All right.
Indiana.
All right, so a couple things I want to bring up. A great band from Fishers, Indiana, and they were signed to MCA for a little bit. They opened for John Mellencamp. They were discovered by Paul McCartney's guitar player, a band by the name of the Y Store, and they were signed to MCA, which is kind of like the nail in the coffin to begin with. You're
Yeah, I just talked to a lot of
fall
MCA bands. Yeah.
you fall flatter than a plate full of piss, right, Joe?
Yes, sir.
Um,
It's a hat on a hat, you might say.
It
Well,
is.
now
It is.
visuals in my head, a plate full of piss.
Just talk to Triumph.
It's an inside joke. It's an
Just
inside
talk to
joke.
Triumph on MCA.
Exactly. So, but Chris Schaefer, the singer, has kind of like great gravelly voice, kind of in a Cat Stevens sort of vibe, but just a really great band. You also have obviously the Jackson Five, and not ironically, Michael Jackson from Indiana,
Yeah.
going back to Indiana. But
Gary.
yeah, absolutely. There is not a John Mellencamp fan, for as big of a Seeger and Springsteen fan I am. Just John has never done it for me.
Well, yeah.
I'm
I love
going
John.
with the master of ceremonies himself, Bozy Bop, Zitty Bop, Diamond David Lee Roth, born in
Yeah.
Bloomington, Indiana.
Yes, he
It's
was.
got to be David Lee Roth. So he's my number one.
BR,
I would still go for John.
the gigolo himself.
Hey,
That's right.
who picked Georgia? Who had Georgia? I'm just gonna say Jerry, REM, and the B-52s.
Dude, there's all kinds of great bands, but I love.
I
the Black
know
Crowes.
Georgia
One
has
of
a
my
lot of
favorite
great
bands.
shit.
Yeah, but the
Almond
Black Crowes
Brothers.
are better than both of them.
Well, I agree, but honorable mentions. I want to get those two bands in there.
Yeah, I would have gone with Almond Brothers for Georgia.
Almond Brothers
I
too.
love
Yeah.
them.
No,
But then,
yeah, Jimmy,
but then
seeing
the Black
David Lee
Crowes
Roth
is not a.
live, yeah.
But the Black
Yeah.
Crowes is a good pick too. Very good
Yeah.
pick. But
Getting to see
DLR,
David Lee Roth live last couple months ago was one of the coolest experiences of my life. That was so awesome.
He's coming to the casino here. I'm going to try to go. It's about 5 minutes from my house. So
Highly recommend it. He blew
Yeah.
me away at M3.
Yeah.
I saw him
See,
one
and-
time, and it was for a different kind of truth tour.
I loved it.
He sounds much better now than he did on that tour. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh,
He
yeah,
sounded
sure he
good
does,
to me.
But Eddie was fantastic, though. Eddie was
Oh,
just
yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
amazing on that tour.
Like Ralph and Ian have always said, they never timed it up well on those reunion tours. On the 07 tour, DLR sounded fantastic. Eddie was awful.
Yeah,
And then on the 2012 and 2015 tours, Eddie was playing some of the best guitar of his
Well, I'm
career.
just thinking
And Dave sounded awful.
It has to be locations because when they played Anaheim, David and Eddie sounded good on that different kind of true tour to me. I didn't see it's like that 2004 Sammy Hagar reunion tour with them. I heard they sounded like shit everywhere, but when they played the Pond in Anaheim, they both sounded great. You know, it's weird.
I really enjoyed
Depends
that
on
show.
shows. I did too. I had a great
I
show,
liked it.
but I
Yeah.
heard a lot of people in Arizona and other places. Eddie was just falling down. So
But Eddie was also very sick at time. He was going through a lot of depression, a lot of
he
alcoholism.
was drunk.
There
Yeah.
was so much going on. So
But
much going on.
He always put it up for LA shows, LA area shows. He was
And
always
he
there
was
for those.
under the spotlight with all that on
Yeah.
his shoulders.
I've never seen a
amazing
bad
thing
Van
for-
Halen show with David or Sammy. So
See, I saw Van Halen 4 times. It was all with Sammy. So, Eddie always sounded great.
yeah,
Like, it was, my first
Sammy
show
always
was
sounded
08
great
to
to me too. But
Jerry.
Well,
Great
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Wow, I mean, there's a million bands, but even though she's originally from New York, come on.
I know she's from Pennsylvania, actually.
Taylor Swift.
I'm just kidding. It's not her.
I was going to
She's actually-
take your. I
she
was
is
going to
from
take away your
Pennsylvania,
metal
though.
card on that one.
But again, a million bands.
I don't card up that one.
But I'm going to pick a band that
Awesome.
me and Mark are very, very fond of. And they started out with a great vocalist named Dan Huff. Fabulous.
Oh, yeah,
guitar
giant.
player. Giant, dude. What a great
Oh,
band
wow.
ever, dude. Their first two
I'm a
albums, man, Time to
believer.
Burn, Last of the Runaways is such a great album. Their third album was great, and they're coming out with a new album actually this year.
Yeah, they did.
Pre-ordered
I've heard a
it,
couple of songs. It's okay.
But Dan
Yeah,
Huff
pretty good.
isn't on there. It's not.
No, but I like the new singer though. His brother's still in the. What are you doing, Andy?
The
Watching
Astros
baseball.
are playing.
Somebody got a home run.
No, they should have stopped at third. Don't
But yeah,
listen
I
to
mean,
me.
yeah, Dan's pretty much all in the country now. He's into producing and
He
writing.
records
Actually,
his, he
I
does
do
his
know
daughter.
where I do know where his office is in Nashville.
That didn't sound right.
Oh wow.
I'm tempted to knock on the door and see
He
if
records his daughter,
And,
not does his daughter. Okay.
and probably get escorted away. But maybe I'll try it one day. Be brave. But I'm a big fan of him. He's a fucking great guitar player, dude. His
Incredible
vocal
guitar
on
player.
I'll see you on my dreams is such a great vocal, dude. It really is. You guys,
I'm sorry that I disturbed you. Sorry about that. But one night, my wife and I stopped in Nashville just for the night, and we drove through, and we stopped, and we spent the night. But at around midnight, we drove around to all the old school recording studios, and just walked around. Of course, everything was locked and it was dark as hell. But still, to be
going to wear a black with masks. Not suspicious at all.
No, it's like that time I went to Capitol Records and they didn't let us in. I didn't know that, I walked in there, my wife and I, they're like, oh, can we help you? Yeah, we just want to look around. They threw us right out. How am I supposed to know? Because I've gone to Motown and I've gone to Stax Records.
I want to go to Paisley Park. I heard that's an adventure because they do
And
have
it
tours
was
of
so
that.
cool. We were able to play and I've gone to Sun Records. I've gone to all three different recording studios, and it was like, oh yeah, you can play with that. You can play with that. We're like, dude.
Well, Capitol Records is just a corporate building now. It's not
okay.
like-
Is it
yeah.
okay? Okay, I thought I was able to go up there. And look
No,
at
it's a corporate
look
building.
around.
It's not. They don't have tours there. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I wish that they would have known that before they picked up my wife and threw her out.
Wow.
But can I still go?
Picked her
with-
up and threw her out like Beverly Hills Cop 1.
But
Threw
can
her
I
out the
still
When the
window.
go?
Beatles signed a contract, man.
Hey, can I
No,
get
but
it?
yeah, Giants might pick. I mean, there's Tennessee's another state you could pick 1,000 bands from. But
Oh yeah,
Giants,
oh, yeah.
Giants stuck in my head. I always liked that band. Me and Mark were always talking about how good they were.
Yeah.
So that's my pick.
Could
Yeah.
have gone with
Really
the King.
good band. A band that I don't give that much time to, but man, do you know how many?
Could have gone the
different-
Kings of Leon too.
Yeah, Kings of Leon is out of Tennessee. No, or Kentucky.
Not from Tennessee.
Oh, are they? Okay.
From Tennessee.
I thought it was
I'm
Kentucky.
pretty sure. You might be right. I don't know. Joe should probably know in about 2 seconds. He always looks and fact checks everything.
I'll find out.
A fact checker
I
there.
always thought they were from Tennessee. I could be wrong.
All right, Mark, what are you going to pick out of California? Is there any bands that have ever come out of California?
I haven't heard of
Oh
them.
god, there's the Doors. There's fucking Van Halen. There's
What?
fucking
What?
all these fucking bands. There's Jefferson Airplane. There's fucking all these fucking bands. But I want to pick bands. No, I'm not going to pick Oingo Boingo.
Good.
They did come out of California, but they are an honorable mention. I'm going to pick a band that I think everybody likes in this group. I don't know. Night Ranger.
Good
Oh,
one.
I'm not
wow.
going to pick Journey. I'm going to pick Night Ranger
Wow.
because Night Ranger needs love, and that band rules. And they got a fucking fantastic catalog that nobody fucking deep dives into. And Joseph can't even buy the later stuff.
And I'm reading this book right here with a guest that Andy's had on a few times. I asked him to be on our show. He's going to be on our show here in the future.
Yeah.
Good stuff here.
In August, we'll probably get him in August, dude. Ask
Yeah.
him in August.
The only one that you can, the only recent album that you can still buy on Amazon is the last one. That's the only one.
Did you get that one?
I am ordering it actually.
That's
We
great
should.
Good album.
Great
I
album.
liked it.
Great
But
album.
I think you can get somewhere in California as well, but it's not through Amazon. It's like you have to pay shipping and stuff, even with Amazon.
Can you
Prime.
go to their websites and buy CDs from?
No, because I went
their-
because okay. Here's the thing. Quick disclaimer. Fuck Frontiers Records. Up the ass. Up the ass.
Well, they're from
Because
Italy.
they'll put something in. They'll put it out, and then you can never buy it ever again.
They never
Wow.
press more.
No.
They never press anything
Ever.
beyond the.
And
Yeah.
so, if a band you love is on Frontiers Records, buy it when it comes out, or you
That's
will
what I
never
do.
get it again.
Blue Oyster
Blue
Cult.
Oyster Cult. Blue Oyster Cult especially. The Symbol Remains. The album's not even 5 years old, and you can't.
How about
buy it.
Striper? Striper's albums too.
Striper is Striper is albums I get when they come out, and
Me
then
too.
the older ones from like the early 2010s I got through like the secondhand market.
Well, those were on Capital EMI Enigma. Yeah. So
But
those-
yeah,
Andy, Kings of Leon's from Mount Juliet, Tennessee.
Yes,
Oh,
I was
thank
about to. I didn't want to interrupt Mark, but yeah, they're from Tennessee. Yep.
Is that right there on the border? No, I'm kidding.
No, it's
It's
suburban
actually
Nashville.
that's about 20 minutes away from me. Actually, Mount Juliet.
Oh, really? Okay. I think there's like 3 or 4 brothers and a cousin.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think is the way it goes.
It's
Yep.
the Southern way.
That sounds like Tennessee to me. 3 or 4
Yeah,
brothers and a
it
cousin.
is.
That's what
Can't
I
tell,
said.
I'm surprised they can tell. I'm surprised they can tell them
The
apart.
Southern
Which
way.
one's a cousin? Which one's a brother? So,
That's like Greta Van
Yeah.
Fleet.
Yeah.
You would think all 4 of them were brothers, but they're not. 3 of
Kershaw
them
ain't
are.
gonna get those.
You know what?
three strikeouts tonight.
Tennessee. I don't agree politically with a lot of stuff, but it's a good state. There's good people.
Oh,
There
yeah, it's a
really
beautiful state.
are. They really are.
Yeah, it's a beautiful state. I mean Memphis. I mean, I know people.
I mean,
rag
they
on
still
Memphis.
hold doors for women here.
Yeah.
You know, they still have manners, and so I'll give them that much.
I always open doors for
I
women.
always have.
Oh,
I do too. I do too.
Always. I say this is my.
I do it for
My
everybody.
girlfriend
I do it
used
for
to do
anybody.
in front of me.
Yeah,
I
I do
I'll
it
do
for
it
anybody.
Oh yeah. I always open my bedroom doors for
I'm
them.
a pleased and thank
Always.
you guy. You know, that's just the way. You know.
Andy, who hails from the great state of Texas?
Who hails from the great state of Texas?
I know. I think I know what it is.
And let's see.
Beyonce.
You got 2 that I think that you're gonna pick. I got 2 in my head.
I've been going up and down, and all my honorable mentions are. I'm going to stay in Texas. I'm going to stay in my state for the honorable mentions. That
said
Wait,
Texas is hard, and I go, bullshit.
Andy, did you just say you've been up and you've been down?
Dallas, Texas.
Hollywood?
Hollywood.
Mm,
Yeah, he's not.
I am
asking for
going.
much.
Oh, wait, you got a strikeout. 2 more. Okay.
I am going to go with a band that I was raised on, a band that I've been listening to on the radio, and then when I started to remember, I was like, man, I know all these songs. They got a little played out for me because they were always on the radio. But then when I started to collect albums, those were the first ones I got. Then really started to deep dive into their discography. And who else but ZZ Top am I
Yeah.
going to choose?
You said Texas was hard. I went bullshit.
No, it is. There's a lot of.
You got
Amazing.
Stevie Ray Vaughan. You got
And there's
ZZ
a lot
Top.
to choose from. A lot to choose from.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it hard.
Come on.
Hmm.
You're not going to pick Charlie Sexton.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're
I'm
going
not gonna-
to pick ZZ. You're going to
that-
pick ZZ. You're going to pick ZZ Top or Stevie Ray Vaughan
That or Marshall
or
Ball.
what's his name, Buddy Holly.
Yeah, or that too. But yeah, I went with ZZ Top. So does anyone have any honorable mentions that they want
I don't.
to mention?
No. Well, L.A. You got the Doors.
Yeah.
You got Van Halen. You got all these fucking bands. Jefferson, San Francisco. You got
You
Journey,
already said
got all
this,
these-
Mark.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying you got a lot in California. So many bands. Oingo Boingo. Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna go with Stevie Ray Vaughan, also from
Never heard
from
of him.
Texas.
Never heard of that
Selena.
Hey, bowling for soup is from Texas.
Yeah.
guy. Ew.
George Strait, the King George is from here.
Amarillo by
Also-
morning.
My friend
Amarillo
at work
by
keeps
morning.
trying to
I'm
get me
from
into
San
bowling for
Antonio.
soup. I go, no.
Pantera.
King's X
Oh yeah, Pantera, Texas.
is from
Yes.
Houston. Pantera, of course. Come on, Cowboys from Hell. I mean, come on. So Texas was a big breeding ground. So those are my choices for my honorable mentions. Anybody else want to add anything else? Jimmy, you're all tapped
Nope.
out.
Got it.
Joe?
I said all mine when I was going through my states, so I'm
All
good.
right, cool. All right. Thanks a lot, guys, for joining me in this.
Thank
This
you.
was a whole lot of fun. It really was to learn who's from who and who's from where. So that was great. Anything else anybody want to add about up and coming shows, Joe?
Yeah. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be on the BS sessions, and also at the same time, I'm going to be in 2 places at once. It's gonna be
Get out of
fun.
town.
I'm going to be in 2 places at once, and one of them definitely wasn't pre-recorded. But at the same time that we are going to be recording the BS sessions, last night Jerry and I were on the great Ralph Vieira's Almost Human channel.
Oh, wow.
Jerry and I did about a 2.5, 3 hour show with Ralph talking about sticks. So
wow.
it's going to be airing tomorrow night. Ralph's actually going to be seeing Blue Oyster Cult tomorrow night. So he's going to be, normally he does his Almost Human live show on Thursday nights. And tomorrow night he's out of town seeing Blue Oyster Cult, so he's going to be airing that instead. So we're going to get some promotion on there for our Heavy Water 77 channel. Really excited. It was great talking to Ralph about sticks. Jerry and I love talking about sticks, as you can tell. And we got a great episode coming up here this weekend on the third Wooded Nickel Sticks album, The Serpent is Rising. We got some great stuff coming up. Jerry and I are both going to be trying to do some shorts. They've been really popular so far on our channel.
Yeah, Mark, you're right again.
So yeah, really, we really appreciate anyone who has checked out our channel so far. We've really been having a great time doing it. Really had some great results so far.
Yeah.
Going through the Wood and Nickel albums. We have a really cool idea for an episode in 2 weeks for when we get to the end of the Wood and Nickel albums that we talk about a little bit tomorrow night on our guest spot on Almost Human. So check that out. Check out the BS sessions that I'm going to be on tomorrow night. I'll let Mark and Jerry talk about what that's going to be. And then, yeah, just some great stuff coming up for everybody, it sounds like.
Oh, yeah. That sounds great. Jimmy, what's going on with you, man?
Well, Mark threw it out there that, May the Sports Be With You podcast. The talking about the plight of being a chubby, bald white guy in his late 40s.
Because they are the most oppressed group of people,
Well, it's when the sleep apnea kicks in, you're just sleep apnea.
Hey man, I'm telling you, I had it.
I have a machine.
I don't have it. I don't have it.
I do too.
Yeah,
Lose the weight. I'm telling you, lose the weight like I did, you won't have it anymore. I don't have it anymore. I'm so happy.
Okay.
I like food, Jerry. I'm good.
It sucks. It's hard to do, man, but you guys can do it. You can.
Dude,
Especially
I was
330.
I was 330. I'm down to 260.
You're talking to somebody that used to have a big bag of Doritos on this side and a big ass bag of Lay's potato chips on this side and a big ass thing of dip. All fucking night I'd eat it. Once you get through a couple weeks, dude, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. Everybody should do it. I mean, seriously. I did it with no fucking Ozempic or anything like that. Don't use that shit. Do it naturally.
No, I don't use that.
You guys can do it, man. We need you here. I mean, we're getting old, man. We need to take care of ourselves, man. Seriously. I just bummed everybody out. I'm sorry, man.
No, it's all right,
No.
Jerry. I like to be reminded that I'm fat. Thank you.
Jerry,
I never denied when I was fat. I realized I didn't have any candy. I knew I was a fat fuck.
Well, Jerry's
I called
probably
myself
not going to
fat.
be on a show tomorrow night on the BS sessions because he has to go to a party with his wife.
It's on a fucking houseboat. Her boss always
Fucking
has.
houseboat.
Her
So
boss
it's
always
gonna
has.
be it's gonna be
holiday
me,
parties.
Joseph, Eddie Canastracci, and Bushy. So we're all
Well,
gonna
if
be
I-
That's a motley crew.
If
yeah,
I do
and
come
Jerry
home,
always bones out on the
That's not true.
All-Star
When do I-
cast.
that's not true. When did I?
You didn't do the Wasp episode with Dr. Fuck?
Hey, Mark, I'm on tomorrow, too.
Yeah, you're on. Well, I was gonna say you're on tomorrow too. I've got an all-star
I
cast.
mean, I'm
tomorrow.
sorry because somebody died. I couldn't be on the Wasp episode. No, I had to work like that.
I'm just saying.
kidding.
But you have boned out on good episodes, man. And then Friday on Freeform Rock Podcast, Jerry, this is how you promote, by the way. Friday Freeform Rock Podcast, we got Eric Camaro, man. We're doing the new Wednesday 13 album, so check that out.
Surprisingly,
It's really
I won't tell you how I felt about it.
good. Yeah, Jerry. Jerry was actually on that episode for once.
Yeah, a rare appearance. Yeah, I'm never on.
A
the
rare
show.
appearance when we have all stars. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just joking. You only missed about 3 all-star episodes. You've been on most of them, so that's cool.
I tell you all the time when I'm going to admit. This was just something I forgot about. This.
Yeah, you told me like 2 days ago. I'm sorry, I fucked up.
I know. My wife's saying, "Yeah, when we go to the party," I'm like,
Hey, I got Bushy, I got Andy,
Yeah,
I
you
got
don't
Joseph,
fucking
and I
do-
got
you don't
Eddie.
do
I
that.
don't need your ass tomorrow.
"Fuck that."
They'll take over the show.
Andy, let Andy be the guest host, man.
Yeah, Andy, you can host it.
Oh, for real, you skipped even mentioning me, and now
I didn't skip you. I was going for it.
I think he called you out, Mark. You weren't going to say his name.
Well, you know what? It's called whiskey. I fucked up.
Mark, dude, you're a good dude. I'm
Hey,
sober. You're a
Andy,
good
I'm
dude,
not
dude.
worthy. Andy, I'm not worthy.
Oh, be quiet.
I'm not worthy.
Okay, please go on.
Let me kiss your ring. Put your hand out.
Oh wait! Let me get my Astros 2017 World Series ring and let me put that on. You kiss that.
Well, that's what's
Ooh.
going on our show. Is that
Things
we're
just got
going
a
to do
little-
BS songs about that has America, patriotic, or whatever. It could be.
I gave
English
you my
fans,
list. I
anything.
hope you at least mention some of the songs.
Oh, I think I deleted it.
Oh, dude.
I'm joking. I got your list. I'll print it, bitch. I'm still hoping you'll get on and your wife
There's
will
a chance.
see the
There's a
light.
chance I could come on late. Absolutely, there is.
We'll be done.
We'll
Probably.
vamp for a while. We'll just
be
vamp
up
for a while. Hold on.
Yeah.
We'll
I don't know how
all
to
get,
work on.
I'll give you up. I'll give you.
Hey, I don't
10
work
minute
on
update.
Friday, so I'm good.
we'll all get drunk. We'll still be on at midnight. Don't worry.
I mean, I'm gonna be
work on
having
Friday.
some of the finest champagne, catered fucking food. I mean, I'm gonna have a miserable time tomorrow night. Trust me.
Yeah, I'm off on Friday, so I'll probably.
So I'm off on Friday too, so we're good.
I'm off
man.
tomorrow too.
I'm off on Fridays too.
Yeah,
Me
but
too.
Yeah, you're like I told you. Why aren't you doing videos? It's Friday. It's always Friday for you, man.
You gotta be a stupid
Hey,
motherfucker
just-
and get fired on your day off.
You got no
Mark-
job. It's
Mark-
Friday.
Mark, just make sure Edwin can make it through the entire show.
Oh yeah,
Make
the
sure
secret episode.
Ooh.
He said
Poor
sorry
Edwin.
for that.
You know what? Those
I
guys,
know.
they're our guests tomorrow. There's a good chance I could make it halfway through that show tomorrow. It's gonna be a long one.
Well, Edwin and Joseph can talk, and so can Andy. So we're good.
Surprisingly, though, making this list, I hope other people have things to talk about because I was not able to find that many songs. Surprisingly,
Really?
I stuck with just America. I didn't go into like
Oh, I went
Sweet
to
Home Mississippi or anything. I didn't do
I
that.
went to English artists
Yeah,
talking
well,
about America.
I have. Yes, of
Okay,
course, Jerry.
okay,
I have that
okay,
on my list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's 2 songs I could have picked from there.
I need to
I
take Miss
picked them
America
both, I
off
think.
my list. I don't think I have.
Will everybody have Neil Diamond on there? That's the question.
I'm
I
not
do.
saying
I have it
so.
on my list. I'm not going to be there. So
Now I need to change it.
To
On the boats and
America.
on the planes, they're coming to America.
That's right. That's right.
today,
All right, Andy, in this show, man, we're taking your shit over.
We're practicing our
taking over.
vamping for tomorrow night.
yeah,
Yeah. Also, we've got a new episode out on Three Shots Down about
yeah. We need to get. I'm
about
sorry.
the tragedy in Altamont. So check that out.
See, Jerry, this is how you promote.
We need to do our next one. Hopefully, maybe next Sunday we can do it.
That was a really good show where we break down what went wrong in Altamont when they were trying to
Awesome.
make the Woodstock of the West. So me and Jerry
That was
and
miserable.
Kate Doré break it down into
Isn't
3
it called
different
the Hells
shots.
Angels?
Yeah. So check that out. And so
Question. Sorry, Andy. I didn't want to
Oh, no,
interrupt.
it's all right.
Question. I've been meaning to ask you. Have you guys ever thought of doing one on Graham Parsons?
no, not yet.
That's if you don't know the story, I won't tell you. But it's very interesting, and in the way he went out and the whole. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, and I always thought it would be a great episode for you guys.
Yeah.
We're not like on our high horses by not having guests. It's just I don't know how to add guests to what we do.
You can't.
Oh, I
you
wouldn't-
can't add
Yeah.
guests. You can't
Yeah,
add guests.
no, you guys.
No,
have
I'm
the
just saying.
perfect-
I just don't know how to work them in. I don't.
Well, you could do. Hey, this is 3 shots down. We got a 4th shot tonight. You know.
Well, I'm talking about. I mean, what do we do? What does that?
You
other
guys have the
person
perfect
add?
flow. You guys
Yeah,
have
you
the
guys
perfect
have
flow
the
with the
perfect
3 of
flow.
you guys. It's
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've always
no,
told
it's-
Jerry, don't fucking try to think about adding guests to that show.
I'm just saying.
No.
I don't want to think like we're like snobby with not having guests. We don't
No.
know
We
how
get
to
it, man.
incorporate them in.
Yeah,
I just
well,
think Graham would be an interesting.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to hear you guys break that down.
yeah, and in fact, it's so funny that you would mention him because I was at a record store on Friday, and the owner and me and some other guy we were talking about Graham Parsons, and I was wondering because they mentioned the movie Graham Parsons, Graham Theft Auto. Have you heard of that movie with Johnny
Mm-mm.
Knoxville,
Yeah.
where it tells the story about the stealing of the body?
Yeah,
But I wasn't too sure if it was a true story or not, or if it was embellished. Where
mean-
his roadie stole the body and burned it in a Joshua Tree.
Joshua Tree. Yeah,
Is that true?
Why is
That's-
Scribble calling me right now? He's sitting here fucking commenting, and then
Yeah,
he's
he's
calling
calling.
me. He knows I'm on a show.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I know, that's the story that's been told for almost
Yeah.
50 years. That's
It's a really
what
good
happened.
movie.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I think
Yeah.
like in his mid-20s when he died or something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, oh yeah, he
Yeah.
was in his 20s.
Yeah.
I always said you should do the Jack Russell story, but yeah.
Well, we did the station thing.
Yeah,
Well,
we
that's
did the
that's different. Jack Russell
but it's
was
great
a
white
tragedy
related.
too.
We probably will.
Yeah,
eventually.
Jack Russell's a tragedy. But
But,
Scribble's on here like telling me we should do a pre-11 1960s movies, me and Staub.
So we got this one coming on. We got Altamont coming out, and then we've got another one that we're going to be working on called Three Little Yardbirds, where each shot, one's going to do Clapton, Page, and Beck.
Oh,
so
awesome.
that's going to be fun to do as well. So we got a lot of stuff coming down the pike. All of us do. We've all got.
We only got one dead guy on that one.
Huh?
The Three Little Yardbirds.
So thank you so much, guys, for watching. Al should be back in a couple of weeks. I don't know what I'm going to do next week yet. I might take the week off next week. But thank you so much for doing this, guys. I know that this was hard to do. It took a lot to find out who comes from where.
It was a unique idea, man.
Yeah, it was really fun.
No, it's great.
I had a lot of fun doing it.
Loved
So,
it.
Hey,
so
Scribble, I picked Everclear for Oregon.
And I want to thank Scribble for being out there and for commenting and calling us fuckies. Thank you. For that.
Fuckies.
You don't want the fuckies?
What's up, fuckies? Oh yeah, I see that.
I love it. So thank you so much, guys, and I will see and talk to y'all very soon. Pretty sure tomorrow. Oh, and tomorrow I'll be on the BS sessions in case someone forgot to mention me. I will be there.
Oh, I'm not going to live that down, am I?
No,
You're not going to say it
no,
tomorrow.
Mark.
Hey, Mark, am I on this show tomorrow?
I'm going to text you at 3:00 in the morning. Your time. No.
Oh,
Okay,
my
guys. Thank you
God.
so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys for watching, and I'll get back safely, and we'll see y'all later. And remember, guys, keep them spinning. Good night, y'all.
See ya.
Love you guys.